one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know. They know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
That's another root of human struggle, worrying about other people's perceptions about who you are. Like, why would you ever care about that, you know? And I think that I fell victim to that in my past, of worrying about things that I can't control. You know, if the people understood what words could do to a human being, especially where we are in today's society, then they wouldn't be invested in that.
Yo, I was watching the beginning of the Pat McAfee show earlier this morning, and he said Pat McAfee back in the tank top. What's that mean? Well, I'm heated. Hey, that shit was. Of course, I cursed within the first minute. Yo, how is everybody doing out there? Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I appreciate you for being here, man. I appreciate the support. I know I haven't been consistent as I usually am during the football season, but I appreciate you for sticking with me. We have to talk about some more NBA playoffs. Now we're gonna touch on Denver and the Timberwolves, and we're gonna touch on the East and the West. But I want to start off with this Knicks series because that's the game that just happened last night. The Knicks take a 2-0 series lead heading to Indy to play the Pacers. And if you watch these first two games, I don't know why anybody in their right mind would believe that the Pacers are going to win this series. Even going back, unless this series just drastically changes when they head back to Indy and New York look like a completely different team than the team that they've looked like thus far in this series, then I cannot see. And the defense for the Pacers looks completely different than it has looked in these first two games. Then I do not see the Pacers winning really a game, to be completely honest with you. And I'm not calling for a sweep, but what I'm saying is I don't know how you could watch these first two games and believe that the Pacers have a chance at winning. When you combine the Pacers' just god-awful defense, the fact that they won't change up this bad defense, they let Jalen Brunson go down the court every time on the same guy and give him a bucket. Every fucking play damn near. And the times where they miss, they just get a whole bunch of offensive rebounds. Like, I understand right now that it's an officiating problem in this series. But it is so hard to talk about that officiating problem at times when you just look at how bad Indy is playing itself. Like, I understand, bro, you're not going to win when you got bad officiating and Indy is playing the way they playing. Like, you can't have it. It'd be a completely different story if Indy was playing comparable defense. If Indy was playing good on both sides of the ball and the refs was hoeing them, that's one story. Indy is not playing good. Bro, Indy's defense is terrible. And then you got the fact that in game 1, Halliburton don't show up. Game 2, Pascal and Miles Turner don't show up. Pascal really haven't been good this series, period. He hit a couple turnaround jumpers. He got the same go-to move that's not even really an automatic shot for him. I'm not understanding what's the difference between Pascal. Well, no, Pascal in the Bucks series versus Pascal in this series is night and day. Pascal was a great player in that first series. He done been awful in this series. It's so much going on with Indy right now that it's hard to just say it's the refs. Now, I do believe the refs hold them in game 1. Calling that call when you just didn't call an illegal screen on the Knicks. Then you gave the Knicks the ball back with a kick ball that was clearly not a kick ball. Dude make a great defensive play and you take it away from him with a kick ball that didn't happen. Now, we keep saying, oh, you know, they refs, they human. How many times we going to get him that excuse when it's all the calls going against one team? That's when I start having problems with officiating. I always say, listen, if you're going to miss a call right before you make a call, what are we doing? And especially in certain moments, bro. I'm not one of them people who say, yeah, the ref should just swallow their whistles. Bro, if somebody legitimately getting fouled where it's a foul where you like, okay, we got to call that foul. Call the foul. Like, you can't have dudes just getting slapped upside the head, pushed around, and not calling fouls like they be doing in that in other series we done seen. But to make a iffy call like that, in that moment, I don't understand that. Like, that is clearly a ref putting a mark on this game. Because that's not a call you had to make. That's not somebody going in and getting fouled. That is DiVincenzo flopping to sell an illegal screen. That, if you want to say letter of the law, sure. But you got to really look at that screen to tell that that's an illegal screen. That is a screen that you did not have to call. But you called it because of DiVincenzo's flopping at the end of it, which is one of my biggest problems in the playoffs so far. When you look at some of the flopping that's going on in some of these series, bro, I don't know what the NBA gonna do about this shit, bro, because they keep saying that they trying to fix the flopping problem. I cannot tell, bro. The flopping problem is ridiculous in the NBA. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how motherfuckers is getting away with these flops, bro, and getting rewarded for it. I don't get it. I really don't. But, like I said, the Pacers got a lot of other problems to deal with, and I saw that they sent in like 71 plays or something like that to the league office of missed calls. I'm not disputing that it's done been missed calls. I told y'all in that first series, the officiating for the Knicks in that series against the 76ers was crazy. The refs, I mean, you can argue at this point, the refs done given the Knicks 2 wins in these series. They gave them a win in that Sixers series and a win in this series. Game 1, they got handed that win by the refs. And in that series against the 76ers, I think it was game 2 where they was fouling Maxey like that, and they called nothing. They gave the Knicks the game in that game. So when you look at how bad the officiating has been for the Knicks, or for the opposing team playing the Knicks at the end of some of these fucking games, it is ridiculous. However, the 76ers had 2 players that usually brought it. And while it's other problems on the 76ers, like Tobias Harris being paid what he is being paid and not giving you nowhere near that type of production of a player you would pay that type of money to. And, you know, I'm always for players getting their bags, but it's still like expectations when you get paid a certain type of, because we expect the better players get paid the most money in the NBA. Well, Tobias is on a hefty contract. And I could argue he ain't lived up to that contract. 0 points. My man was out there running cardio. People keep telling me like, oh, well, Tobias bring a defensive presence to the floor. Not really. The better scorers score on Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is not known as one of the better perimeter defenders. Am I telling you he can't make a play or two here or there? Absolutely not. But Kyrie can make a play or two there. And you don't look at him as a great defender. So I don't know why we gave Tobias that moniker. He's also not a consistent, reliable scorer. He don't knock down the big shots for you. He don't run the offense for you. He not particularly a great rebounder, but he done parlayed his skills into this type of contracts, and that's cool. I fuck with that. I love that for him. But there's no expectations being met by Tobias Harris. That's a problem. That's a problem. Last night when I was watching that Pacers game, I said to myself, bro, it's the fourth quarter and Miles Turner has 4 fucking points. That is a problem. I understand the officiating, but 4 points for your best player or second best player is a problem. I don't understand this scoring thing for these players on the Pacers, bruh. And then when he finally decided to score, he take a terrible step back 3-pointer instead of going to the basket. He got the height advantage over most of his the people guarding him. He got the strength advantage. Miles Turner in game 1, Miles Turner in game 2, 2 completely different players. And if you trying to compete for a championship, you just can't have that, bro. You cannot. You know, the only player who I can remember who played a sizable role on a team, who was just a different player from game 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, you just didn't know what you was going to get, was Kevin Love with the Cavs. But Kevin Love happened to have LeBron and Kyrie on that team to be able to and some great role players in Amon Shumpert, J.R. Smith, to overcome him being a different player on a game-to-game basis. You don't got that type of talent at the top on the Pacers for Tyrese Halliburton to have. He bad game 1, good game 2. Like, you can't afford that, bro. And the fact that they haven't figured out an offense for the Pacers where Halliburton, because right now I feel like they do this thing where they just overpass the ball a lot with Halliburton because he don't, even when you tell him he need to score in his mind, it's like, okay, I got to score. And then, but eventually it become, all right, you know, I can get back to passing the ball around. You just can't have that, bro. I just don't think the Pacers ain't winning this series because the defense, the offense, the mentality that they have compared to what Jalen Brunson's mentality is. Jalen Brunson shooting that shit every time he go down the court if he need to. Halliburton, bro, he probably throwing that bitch away 3 out of 4 times down the court. He passing it up. And my problem with all the passing he doing, this overpassing he doing, sometimes it don't even lead to a better play, a shot, an open look. It's just passing the pass, really. And you supposed to be the best player or the second best player on the team, and you're letting the ball get out of it. And it's not like he get it back and he wide open or something like a Steph Curry type of play. That's not what's happening. So, listen, they can complain about refereeing, officiating, and I agree. The officiating in these Knicks series done been heavily Knick favored. But my goodness, bro. I don't understand how. I'm looking at a fucking James Harden type of architect team right now, bro. You just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, this is crazy. I'm looking at these motherfuckers Rick Carlisle is a championship head coach, bro. And he continues to allow his same player to get cooked down the court by Jalen Brunson. Why not just send the double team at this point, bro? He is letting this man go one-on-one every time down the court, and Jalen Brunson has not missed. The game plan at this point is literally, maybe Brunson will miss this drive. Maybe he'll miss this drive. Maybe he'll miss this drive. And all the while, not only are the Knicks, Jalen Brunson hitting his shots, but they also getting favorable calls by the officiating. But the Knicks is also being DiVincenzo, who I think was like the best 3-point percentage in the league this year or something like that. He was like, or the second most made threes in the league this year. He had some crazy 3 points. He was very great shooting that 3 this year. They leave him wide the fuck open almost every shot. I mean, DiVincenzo is shooting practice shots out here. The Pacers is leaving him wide open. Wide open. And this full court press type shit that they do where they leave, I don't understand it. They leave DiVincenzo or another player wide open every time. And the fact that you keep getting outworked by Josh Hart. Josh Hart has done found a beautiful niche in this series where he don't have to shoot the ball particularly well. He don't really have to be relied upon for scoring because he done found a way to do a little bit of everything in this series. So he gonna get points because he just work harder than everybody else on the Knicks at this point. He not taller than the Knicks, than the Pacers' tallest players, but he keep out rebounding everybody because he get the rebounds that matter because he just work harder than everybody else. When players take plays off, he's still working. Like he done played 2 full games also, so the dude's a psychopath. But hey, baby Laker, Josh Hart, look at my guy. Having a phenomenal series, bro. And to be honest with you, Josh Hart having a great playoff run. Like, when Jalen Brunson is doing what he do, you forget that he is specifically the scorer. So you need a player like Josh Hart to do all the things that Josh Hart does and be cool with it and want to do it every game. He really fill out a Draymond Green type of role for this team. Is he Draymond Green? No. But he can drive better than Draymond Green. Like, Josh Hart is pretty good at driving to the rim and finishing through contact. Like, he have a talent at that. I don't understand how he's so great at it, but nobody really talk about it. But he is pretty great at getting to the rim and finishing through contact. It's actually crazy when you see some of a lot of the plays he make when he. I'm not telling you he Kyrie, but he got a knack for it. When you have that type, so he can drive, he can run the show for you when you need him to. He rebound the ball. He play defense. He a menace off the ball. Like, he fill out that Draymond Green type of role, and so. Imagine if they had a Julius Randle right now, healthy. This series would be a squash, bro. And it's a damn near squash, and Julius ain't playing. Like, and that's another thing. And Julius Randle not some like premier defender or nothing like that, but when you have at least that size and a guy, because think about this, Julius Randle works just as hard as Josh Hart. You having trouble holding down Josh Hart. Imagine what it would be like if you had Julius Randle right now, having to compete with him and a Josh Hart, 2 dudes who just work extremely hard and give you max effort, like Russell Westbrook type archetypes. They just work very hard. They might not be the greatest shooter, the greatest finisher, the greatest, but they work so hard on the court in areas where other people take breaks off or plays off that they take advantages. They steal advantages from you because they're going to work harder than you. And that's a special talent to have in the NBA, as you are seeing. That's what's done made Draymond Green special. That's what's making Josh Hart special in this playoff run. So while it would be easy to say officiating, that's the only reason the Knicks losing. I mean, the Pacers losing. That's not the only reason the Pacers losing. It's not. And I wanted so desperately to come on here and go at the officiating. And I have. I got a problem with it. But this series is not the way it is right now. Well, I mean, the series should be 1-1. I'm not going to lie to you. But hell, even at this point, who knows how the end of that first game would have ended, even with the Pacers hitting shots down the stretch. Because Jalen Brunson is clutch down the stretch. He done been great down the stretch for them. Jalen Brunson missed the second quarter. The Pacers took a big lead. He come back in the game. Pacers fold. Now, I saw somebody say Jalen Brunson could be the best player on the championship team. He done proven that. He haven't proven that. The Knicks haven't won a championship. But with that being said, they looking pretty good right now. I do believe that Boston will struggle. Not necessarily struggle, but it will be interesting seeing how Boston play the Knicks, because you got a player in Jalen Brunson who is going to get his shot and take his shots. And he done proven he can hit shots down the stretch. However, the Celtics will by far provide the best defensive. They're gonna have the best defensive game plan that the Knicks done seen in the playoffs, and it's gonna be so much. The Celtics are so much better defensively than what the Knicks have played to this point that I don't want it to come as a culture shock to the Knicks, in a sense of we've been so used to playing these two horrific defenses. And the Celtics defense is so far and away better than the two defenses we done played to this point that it just fucked the Knicks all the way up. And it take them out of the first couple games. Because the Celtics will beat the dog shit out of somebody if you're not prepared for the way they defend people. And the fact that they can hit shots. Because that's another thing coming into the next series. In the first series, Joel Embiid did kill you. But it was games where he playing injured. And Tyrese Maxey, but you do have two legit scoring threats. In this series, you done basically gotten a series off because you got three scoring threats, but they don't even know if they want to score themselves. In this next series, you got Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. If Porzingis come back, he a scoring threat. Drew Holiday can be a scoring threat. Peyton Pritchard done been a scoring threat. Like, it's so many scoring threats that the Boston Celtics present, and they play defense on top of it. I think I forgot Jalen Brown. Like, it's going to be a completely different series. So if the Knicks get past the Celtics, shout out to the Knicks. I was on Twitter, and I really am going to have to get rid of my Twitter eventually, bro, because the people on Twitter is just miserable people. But this dude tweeted me and was like, what is the real problem with what Pat Riley said? Maybe he should have said it to Jimmy Butler personally or not to the media, but I don't really see the problem. Explain it to me. And I responded, the fact that you said that you watched that entire interview and you didn't see the problem, you need me to tell you what the problem was. That's crazy, for one. I said, but two, if you didn't go to work one day, I said, no. I said, and two, you don't play in the NBA, right? So anytime you drop an opinion on the NBA, somebody on Twitter had a right to tell you to shut your mouth because you don't play. I said, and they would be justified in telling you that, right? You would agree. You wouldn't have no problem with somebody telling you that, right? His response was, why you so emotional? I see I struck a chord, LOL. What? This is what I'm saying, bro. Some people are they lack intelligence. The responses are so generic. They don't answer the question. I don't know how he thought that his response was emotional. The level of stupidity from people on Twitter is alarming, bro. I'm dead ass serious. You can't have a debate with people online. The fact that I got to explain to people the problem and what Pat Riley did up there is crazy. It's crazy because it's no shot. Because me and my homie at work was talking about this yesterday. In no reality would you allow your boss or anybody who feel like they over you come up to you and say, you didn't work yesterday. So your problems that you have with the company yesterday, keep your mouth shut. You didn't work yesterday. You're not letting that happen. You come to work or you go buy some ice cream and you say, yo, how did the ice cream look yesterday? Or you ask them a question that pertained to yesterday or some shit like that. Or shit, you just ask them a random question and they say, you don't work here, so keep your mouth shut. In what reality are y'all cool with that? A teacher go up to a kid and he try to correct her and she tell him, you a child. You don't know what I know. Keep your mouth shut. In no reality is that okay to address somebody like that. But for some reason, because dudes make millions playing hoops, y'all think it's okay for athletes to be talked to and talked about in any type of fashion. I truly don't understand it. This is why bro, every time an athlete come out and talk about their mental health, I agree. I believe them. Because to be an athlete, boy, in America these days, the type of criticism and the type of shots you got to take on a day-to-day basis, on an hour-to-hour basis, of people just talking to you reckless, because you make millions of dollars. And think about it like this. If you listening to this, you could make millions one day. Do you believe then, because you made millions, now it's okay for people to lose their humanity in you and start talking to you and treating you any type of way? Because, hey, you make millions, so you should be okay with that. That's insane to me. Now, you just got disrespectful people who talk to anybody any type of way. But it's a certain type of problem right now in America where people really feel like they can talk to athletes and treat them any type of way because they make millions playing a game. It's the same way when they do celebrities who they feel like don't do anything special. I see it all the time with Kim Kardashian. What does she do to make money? Just hate. Hate. Imagine one day you do something to break through and make millions and somebody hit you up and you know how hard you work and somebody say, what the fuck do he or she do to make money? They don't deserve that. And then start calling you out of your name. Start digging into your life because they hate you because you make money now. They loved you when you was broke and struggling like they were. But boy, as soon as you get out of that struggle and they got to struggle by themselves now with somebody new, they don't like it. Oh, they done changed up. They done forgot where they came from, who they are. Why the fuck would I come from bad beginnings and go back to that now that I'm rich? That's crazy. I don't know how athletes do it, man. I don't. But shout out to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, man. Because while you can make an argument that the officiating done been god awful, the Knicks is still outplaying the Pacers, bro. I don't care how you look at it. They have outplayed the Pacers in every way. And the Knicks ain't special defensively, but they work hard. DiVincenzo, they dive for loose ball. They do the extra play. They go the extra mile to make the play to win the game. And I respect the fuck out of that. This Denver Nuggets series is an interesting series. Bruce Brown said last year that their toughest matchup last year was the Timberwolves. And boy, is that playing out this year. I think the biggest difference in this series, watching the Nuggets, and I saw somebody say yesterday, I can't remember exactly who it was. I don't remember. I think it was Gilbert Arenas, where he was like, you got to look at these games. Jokic ain't the dude with the ball at the end of these games. It's Murray. That's not true. Yeah, Murray do have the ball at the end of the game sometimes. But when you look at the end of these games, who get them back in games or who get them in position for Murray to be able to take that shot, it's usually Jokic. And mind you, Jokic done hit big shots for them. Done been the scorer down the stretch for them. Done been the dude who hit the shot to win the game for them. Like, bro, Gilbert Arenas be talking crazy a lot of times, bro. Like, the shit that come out his mouth sometimes is just out of... This dude played the game, bro. And some of the shit that just come out of his mouth is insane, bro. From when he just watching, I don't get it. But, and I'm not gonna get into that. The thing that I know a lot of people was mad at Gilbert for saying what he said about Rudy Gobert, but y'all really gonna hate me then because listen, if I was an athlete, a top athlete in a position to win a championship, I'm gonna miss the birth of my children also. That's just a thing. That's a decision I'm making. Like, bro, on my path to try to become big now, it's things that I'm gonna miss. Like, it just is what it is, bro. When you in a hunt to put your family in a better position and yourself in a better position to become something great in life, to get to where you want to be in life, it's some important shit you gonna miss. And athletes ain't the only ones who miss them. Go talk to doctors who spent their life getting to become a top tier doctor or a lawyer. You miss important moments to become great. A head coach. You miss important moments to become great. But the people who you love usually benefit the most from you missing those moments. Now, maybe, yes, emotionally they feel it at a time. But when you marry somebody who is determined to become great and put you in a better position, usually it's an agreement there that do what you need to do to be great. Just don't cheat on me, don't play me, and we fine. We gonna be here. We gonna hold it down for you. I feel bad for dudes who go into service because usually those women cheat on their spouses out here. But athletes and whatnot, like people who on a hunt for greatness to try to make millions or just put themselves and their family, bro, it's usually an agreement there between the spouses. Like, yo, I got to be great for us to be successful. For us to live an easy life and to live a great life, I got to go out there and be great. So it's going to be some shit that I miss. It's going to be some games, some recitals, some births, some birthdays. It is what it is. If I do this thing the right way, I'm not going to miss nothing when I retire. But we also going to be in such a beautiful position when I retire that none of us going to have to work again. Only way we working is by choice, and if it's something that fulfills us. We ain't going to have to do nothing. Everything we do going to be by choice because we want to do it, because it's a passion now. That's the payoff of all those days that I missed, of all those events that I missed. So that's my thoughts on that. But his opinion on Jokic was out of control to me. Out of control. If you watch Denver, Jokic is a clutch player down the stretch for the Denver Nuggets. He usually orchestrating the offense, or he the one scoring, getting the buckets to get them back in the game. Against the Lakers, he was the one going in there taking them big bumps against AD and bodying him up and getting the buckets in the paint. Murray just ended up hitting 2 shots, bro. This is my problem. People love to overhype this dude off of a shot or 2, bro. What is he doing now that he can't just hit 1 shot to make it look like he had a good game now? And this is a very interesting matchup because Minnesota was the best defense in the NBA, and you see how great they play defense without Rudy Gobert, which is why I'm not happy that Rudy Gobert is a 4-time defensive champion. Some people have a problem with him winning now. People saying that Victor Wembanyama should have won. Who is it? I would have gave it to Victor also because it's called Defensive Player of the Year, not Best Defensive Player on the best defensive team. And that's basically what you did because Wembanyama has been the best defender in the game. Just because his team wasn't great don't mean shit. So, to me, I would have gave it to Victor. But my problem with Rudy winning it does not start this year. I said it a while ago. Rudy gonna rack up defensive MVPs because they don't understand what this award really should be. Kawhi Leonard and Draymond Green were the last players who won this award and rightfully won this award. They can defend the perimeter. They can defend the paint. They can go outside. They can come inside. They can defend a drive. They can defend a shot. Like, Rudy cannot do that. Rudy get cooked when he go out to the perimeter. It's dudes who hunt Rudy Gobert. They'll go right at him in the paint. You don't see people hunting to be guarded by Draymond and Kawhi Leonard when they was in their primes. You saw that with Rudy Gobert. It have to be something that separate a dude who is great at defending in the post. When people go up for a shot, he great at coming out of nowhere and blocking it from the blind side or something like that. Or because he is taller, he can't just jump up and block a lot of shots. Compared to somebody who actually is a movable defender, who can go out to the perimeter and defend, who can defend 1 through 5 or on most occasions. That's not Rudy Gobert. Yet he keep winning Defensive Player of the Year. And when you look at some of the dudes who won Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert is not better than them defensively, but he gonna end up with more Defensive Player of the Years than them. And I'm just using his contemporaries who play right now. Rudy Gobert in his prime defensively was not better than Paul George in his prime defensively. Not better than Draymond Green right now. Not better than Kawhi Leonard. It's so many individual players who are better defensive players. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, like DeMar DeRozan during his prime. It was so many better defenders who could defend so many different positions and move around defensively, whereas Rudy Gobert is stationary. He got to be in that paint, and it's usually the blocks from the blind side, or it's very rare that he go right up with somebody. Like, I haven't seen a shit ton of those highlights. But point being, he is not as versatile a defender as those other dudes. But he going to have more defensive player of the years than all of them. And I just think that's crazy. I really do. Nonetheless, shout out to the Timberwolves, because I said it before. KD not wanting to be a leader, the difference is, look at Anthony Edwards, who wants to be a leader for his team. And look at how he motivate and push. You know, I get sick and tired when I hear people say, bro, it's no such thing as motivating other grown men, bro. They should go to work and do what they got to do. They get paid too. I understand that. You shouldn't need to be motivated when you get paid to do this. But all of us go to work and still need motivation to go to work, and we know we got bills to pay, and we still need some type of motivation. It's no different. When you can be motivated to give something more, that's always going to be a good thing. And Anthony Edwards encourages his players. Bro, look at how Cat and them boys play now. It's extra efforts you never saw with these dudes before Anthony Edwards was there. They look at what Anthony Edwards is doing. They look at how great he talk about his players. I still remember where he said they got KD, but we got McDaniels. And look at how great McDaniels done been throughout the playoffs for them. He shouted him out the other day. Like, and I love Anthony Edwards saying, when a reporter asked him, is Jamal Murray somebody he looked up to? Hell nah. He 27. What? I'm 23. Bro, KD like 37. I like 36, 35, bro. It's a difference. Like reporters, bro. That's what I'm saying, man. I ain't gonna call him nothing, bro. But that's just a wild question to ask. Did he grow up watching Jamal Murray, bro? Who the fuck do that reporter think Jamal Murray is, bro? Like, that dead ass, bro. Who the fuck do that reporter think Jamal Murray is that he thought Anthony Edwards grew up watching Jamal Murray? That is a crazy question, bro. But shout out to the Timberwolves, bro. Now they completely took home court advantage, winning both games in Denver. Now they go back to Minnesota. And it's hard for me not to see them picking up at least one win at home. Like, I can see Denver getting desperate picking up a win. But it's hard for me to see them picking up 2 wins in Minnesota. Like, the way that... And I love the way Anthony Edwards done played this year, because I said the problem with Ant last year in the beginning of the playoffs was he didn't exactly know how to get to his shot. He was going down the court trying to figure out how he gonna score every time. He not doing that now. He know exactly how he gonna score now. And he done become a better facilitator of the offense. And it helped having Mike Conley, bro. A legitimate point guard who can run the show and make life easier for him. And for Cat. The spacing is great too, based off of how Anthony play, and because Cat don't sit in the paint. Cat take a lot of jump shots. So they got great spacing, and Cat can knock down those jump shots. But the way Anthony Edwards done played in this series, I know everybody want to keep comparing him to Michael Jordan and all this. I'm just seeing a young dude become a superstar, and I like what I'm seeing. If he can play this way, because he ain't launching up a bunch of threes, bro. He attack you mid-range. He can go to these turnaround, back down shots. He can get to the paint and score. He get the fouls where he need them. He can hit the big time 3-pointers. He can challenge you when he need a momentum 3. Like, to me, he is becoming a complete player, and he can play defense. He not the greatest defender yet, but he play defense. Anthony Edwards is becoming the face of this league. I'm not going to say the face of the league yet, but he is, because you're not going to be the face of the league until Curry and LeBron retire, but he is becoming next in line. Now, I would love to see Ja Morant healthy and see a series between Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards, because that's the other guy who I think is just, and Zion, if he can stay healthy the way he was playing to end the season, my goodness. You got 3 studs right there. And I like the way each team done built around those players. Well, not necessarily the Pelicans, but the Grizzlies and the Grizzlies in Minnesota done a great job, even though Cat was already there. But Conley, the pieces that they done brought in, the supporting pieces. And you don't, bro, when you got a superstar level player like an Anthony Edwards who is showing you love the way he is publicly, that's going to get so much more out of the other players on the Minnesota Timberwolves, bro. I love what I'm seeing from Anthony Edwards, bro. He is by far my favorite player to watch right now in the playoffs is Anthony Edwards. Just so pure. He getting them buckets so pure, bro. He don't live at the free throw line. He just, oh my goodness, just giving him work. Giving him work. OKC, Dallas. You know, it was an interesting first game. When Dallas finally started getting the scoring going, it did look like, I saw a report today. When Dallas got their scoring going, the game did look more competitive. It was looking like it was about to get a little bit out of control, even though it was technically still an ass whooping. I saw a report today, and this is why I just don't understand the media at this point, bro. Because they was just praising Luka. Now the report is it's hard for players to find the momentum with Luka. They breathe a sigh of relief when he leave the court because now they think to themselves, okay, we can finally start playing basketball. And that is not a report that you would have thought would have came out last week when they was beating the Clippers, which is just further proof that, bro, they talk about this Dallas team on a game-to-game, series-to-series basis, bro. If they losing, then it's, oh, Luka hold the ball too long. If they winning, Luka the best facilitator in basketball. I really don't get it. The fact that they cannot watch games and have a consistent opinion on this team, to me, is a problem. It's like I say about it in the NFL. When they watch Lamar Jackson, their opinions are game-to-game basis because they don't actually watch the Ravens. If you cannot watch a team, or that's why you always have a different opinion on Brock Purdy, because you don't watch him every game. Because if you did, you would be able to form an opinion and sit on that opinion until legitimate proof is presented to change that opinion. Instead, they have a game-to-game opinion on most of these players. My opinion for the Dallas Mavericks has not changed in a while. Luka Doncic is just a better version, it seems, and a less athletic version of James Harden. He dribble a lot, take a lot of step backs, take a lot of shots. And occasionally, he will find the open guy, not necessarily because he is facilitating great, but because he dribbled it all the way down to the end if somebody finally he pass it out. However, Luka is good at running the show. Like, he do still have great point guard type moments. So it's not completely, like, I don't think Luka is as bad as it was the first couple years where it really was he dribbling it to the dead end of the shot clock and either he's shooting it or passing it, sending somebody a nuke to shoot. But I don't think it's as bad as it's done been. I think the biggest problem with with Dallas is still the defense. They're not a good defensive team, but they can score with anybody. But if they go up against a team that can play great defense, then it's a problem there because you can stifle Luka Doncic. I done seen great defenders be able to cause Luka to have rough shooting nights. Kyrie, as great as he is still a smaller guard, so you can get to him. So I understand. Well, I don't understand the game hopping theory on game to game. You feel something different. My opinion on them really haven't changed because I think it's a big difference between Luka Doncic and Mike Conley, how they decide to run the shows. While Luka is a good point guard, if you're asking me, do he run the show as great as a Chris Paul or a Luka Doncic? Or Mike Conley? No, because at the end of the day, Luka's still trying to get his shot. At the end of the day, Chris Paul and Mike Conley trying to get everybody else their best shots. They not sending nukes to people at the end of the shot clock. They are legitimately trying to set people up and get them their best looks. They're not thinking about how they gonna score their points. They gonna figure that out by the end of the game. Right now, they trying to, for the most part, they are trying to find ways to get everybody else their best looks. That's not Luka for an entire game. That's the difference. That's the best way I can explain the difference between the type of point guard he is and how the difference between the point guards that Chris Paul and a Rondo or a Mike Conley is. Like, he more of the James Harden type, where they still ultimately is looking to get their shot. Now, James Harden not necessarily looking to get his shot no more because he ain't in his prime no more. He ain't the same James Harden he used to be. But at the end of the day, the Dallas Mavericks defense to me is just not good enough. Like, I don't think that they are really going to have great defensive moments throughout this series where they get big stops that put them up a sizable lead to be able to have their offense maintain the game for them, like they did against the Clippers. Like, they made big defensive stops, whether it be self-inflicted by the opposing team or they just made great plays, and then they let that offense carry them the rest of the way a lot of times. So, to me, that's the difference in this series, because OKC can still play defense. And I understand people keep saying, oh, they're young, so they got to slip up at some point in time. Listen, bro, when you got the better team, you got the better team. It is what it is at the end of the day. Maybe you're not going to slip up. So, and it's not like any of these teams is playing against a Steph Curry or LeBron and they primes with crazy teams. Now, I understand people about to go in on that Laker thing, but as good as people think AD is and LeBron is, I still don't think completely the Lakers were a great team, bro. Like, they got D'Angelo starting at the point guard, bro. That is not a player you want starting at your point guard if you're competing for a championship on this type of team, bro. But I digress. And the last series, Boston Cavs. It's not really much to be talked about. I don't see the Boston Celtics losing this series. And I thought the Cavs got more production scoring-wise out of multiple players than I expected. Donovan Mitchell is still by far the best player on this team. All it's going to take is one bad shoot night for them to get blasted again. He had a 33-point night, and they still got blasted. The Celtics, to me, are just a far better team than the Cavs. I just cannot explain to you how much I don't like the build of the Cavaliers. And the Cavs court is bro, that court is hideous, bro. Why don't they do something to the color scheme, bro? I hate watching this Cleveland Cavs play at home, bro. They got one of the ugliest courts in the league. I was talking about how I don't like the Magic's court. I take that court every day over the ugly ass Cavs court. That court is hideous. I see they done dropped the court budget since LeBron done left the land, bro. Ridiculous. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Yo, shout out to Angel Reese, bro. She already the face of the Chicago Sky, bro. Yo, if you ain't noticed, the Chicago Sky got a lot of baddies, bro. They got that girl Kyrese Godendrick, however you pronounce her name. Super baddie. They got a lot of baddies on that team. But anyways, that being said, shout out to you for joining me, man. Shout out to you for joining me. Like, subscribe, share. Wait a minute. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share. Sign out.
You view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home.